to my first ever Super Junk Gaming Creepypasta live stream type thing. So before further ado, let's go to www.creepypasta.wikia.com. I'm here with my friend who is reading the Herobrine Creepypasta. Earlier today, I did, earlier today, I made a creepypasta. I don't know what it was called. I totally forgot. Psychosis. And, so all basically basically all this is gonna be is just a bunch of, creepypastas. So we'll just go and do the top one I see. So this one's called Deletion. Oh wait, no. Oh, this isn't even. Okay, so I just have to look for the. I have no idea how to work this site navigation. Genre listing. What do you guys want to do? Computers and the internet. How about that, Adam?
What?
I'm gonna read a bunch of creepypastas for their live stream.
No.
Not that bad, trust me. Unless you're really paranoid. Like moi.
That's stupid. Killer one was paranoid.
Okay. Ooh, oh, come on. Jeff the Killer.
Oh.
Steve the Killer. I am not showing a picture of Jeff the Killer. I cannot stand that. I literally. Ooh, gives me shivers.
I looked up that picture and it was so freaky it gave me nightmares for like 7 weeks. Don't you please stop talking.
Okay, let's go. Oh. Okay. So T. Okay. Load some more. Oh my god. The condemned iPod. The cursed YouTube video. Ooh, the Facebook friend. You ready, Adam?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Alright. So at my first day of high school, everyone had a Facebook, but I was the only one without one, so when I got home, I picked up my laptop and created an account. After I set up my account, got a profile picture, posted a few pictures, and a 1 appeared next to the friend request. I was puzzled because I just made the Facebook account, so I clicked on the picture and it said no new requests. This scared me because I swear I saw one, but I ignored it and thought it was a bug. I continued to mess around in my settings, changing the privacy level and security. Then I went to my timeline and found out I had one, so I clicked on friends. A person with no profile picture showed up on the screen. At first I thought it was a stalker, but then I noticed that he had no name and it was just blank. So I clicked on him and my computer crashed and I got really peed off. And I didn't go on Facebook for a week. It's a different type of week. You have to change it to WEEA. Then I suddenly started to get random calls on my, and when I went to answer the phone, it would stop ringing. I don't know. This really ticked me off, so I shut down my phone and went to sleep 2 hours before I usually do. I went to school the next morning to find out that my best friend committed suicide after I went to his funeral. The police asked me some questions on why he might kill himself. I couldn't answer any of the questions because he had a perfect life. He had a girlfriend trait as his parents were rich and nice to him and he was never bullied. They asked if he ever got cyberbullied and I said no, but we can check. So I logged onto his Facebook account, went through this timeline and friends until the officer scrolled to the very last friend, the person with a default profile picture and no name. The moment I saw the friend, I shouted, "Don't click on it," but it was too late and the officer's computer crashed. The officer brought me home telling my mom and dad that I was not in trouble and thanked me for the help, and he waved goodbye and left. I waved goodbye and he left. This guy is awful at writing. Now I really wanted to know who this guy was, so I logged onto Facebook.
SpongeBob and Patrick play dig out Squidward's house. Squidward is going.
And when I logged on, I heard a sound that's...
It's time for the moment of truth. Shut up, Jeff.
And when I logged in, I heard a sound that sounded like this ding. This was my message sound, so I went to my messages, and it said, "Hello, Jack Randolph, Lily Grant." Lily Grant. I answered the message and said, "Who are you and why are you doing this?" He answered back, "I want to be your friend." And my computer crashed. Then my computer turned on without me pressing the power button and my Facebook page came up and said, "You have been poked." And then suddenly a cold, sharp knife stabbed me in the back. And yeah, the story was posted to everyone's Facebook, and the same day every Facebook account in the world got a friend request and poked. That day, 400 people died from stab wounds. Go check your Facebook, you may have a request. Oh no. Yeah, I'm good. I don't even have a Facebook. I don't need no Facebook. I'm good. I'm good, me. I'm good. Greetings. You good, Adam?
Yeah.
You don't need no Facebook? I don't need no Facebook anymore. I was gonna get a Facebook, but, Would Jeff the Killer? Jeff. Jane the Killer. Oh, so this is kind of like a spin-off of Jeff the Killer almost. It's just called Jeff. I'm not gonna read it though. Let's do.
Is Jeff the Killer?
Maybe. I don't know. Santa Claus! Santa Claus. You ready? Second creepypasta. On the morning of Christmas Day, the Rogers family was discovered brutally murdered in their homes. The police were alerted by the neighbors, the Taylors, who heard a scream coming from the Rogers residence. The following journal was found underneath the dining room table, written in what seems to be the handwriting of their 12-year-old son, Andrew. 11:42 p.m., Saturday, December 24th, 2011. I know my mom told me to go to sleep or else Santa wouldn't come, but I didn't want to listen. I want to see him in person, get his autograph, etc. I'm in my room right now, but when midnight comes, I'm going to hide under the dining room table and stake out for the tree. I can't wait to prove to all my friends that Santa's real. 12:04 a.m., Sunday, December 25th, 2011. I'm outside right now, hidden under the dining room table. I'm writing this by the dim light of the Christmas tree, waiting, watching. The only thing keeping me awake right now is the motivation to see Santa. 2:05 a.m., Sunday, December 25th, 2011. Oh man, looks like my friends were right. I see my parents coming out of the rooms, they're holding presents and walking towards the tree. They finally reached the end of the house. They walked really slowly for some reason. Wait, I got a closer look at the presents in their hands. They're not presents, they're weapons. My mom's holding a 9-iron and my dad is holding a double-barrel shotgun. Why would they be coming out to the tree in the middle of the night carrying weapons? Huh, Adam? I don't know. 12:07 a.m., Sunday, December 25th, 2011. I figured it out. They must be staking out the Christmas tree too, or the tree too. I guess my parents do this every Christmas so they can see Santa and greet him. The weapons, though, I haven't figured out those yet. I have to write a little at a time because my pencil makes a lot of noise and my parents are very wary of their surroundings. I'm starting to see little black flashes out of the corner of my eye. It's probably just my dog. That would explain why I keep feeling something brushing against my foot. 12:10 a.m., Sunday, December 25th, 2011. I'm gonna start writing the heading now. Stop writing the heading now, just because it wastes valuable lead and I don't have a sharpener or an extra pencil with me. I'm still lying in wait, undetected, under the table, staking out there with my parents. Staking out the tree with my parents. This is taking a long time. I'm freaking out now. I don't remember even having a dog, because I don't have that one. I don't remember even having a dog because I don't have one. I'm scared, but my parents must be too, because they're shaking right now. Oh my god, someone came down the chimney. No, something. It's definitely not human. It's a Slender Man-esque figure. It's tall, entirely black, and has tentacles sprouting out of its back. It has a face, but I wish it didn't. It has glowing red eyes and black pinhole pupils. A huge, gaping mouth envelopes in the rest of its face. My mom started letting loose the iron, and the creature sucked it up. My dad started shooting at it, and the bullets just tore away chunks of flesh. The flesh just grew back. All H broke loose in this house. My dad and mom lying on the floor unconscious, blood leaking out of their skulls. The creature isn't watching at me, and I think it sees me writing this quickly to get the message on paper. Paper, her help me. The following pages were blunt, and whatever we could salvage were unintelligible mass of blood and scrambled letters. There was one sentence salvageable from the rest of the journal. 3 bold words written in blood. You are next. We dismissed this hollowed threat from the killer. It's definitely just something to scare the Forsenic analysts. You hope so. I don't know. That one was not good. I didn't like that one. 2 out of 0. Yo, I'm doing a few more. Shame Lordy. Skype call? Yeah, Skype call. OOP, it says I'm recreating a pasta just because it's the same name, XD. I don't know, though. This is different and a true story, too. On Saturday morning, 5 o'clock a.m., I love to get up early on Saturday mornings. I went onto my laptop and it showed the orange one on Skype. It said some guy wanted to Skype me and his name was gibberish, something like Wash the or something. So I answered. Hello, I asked. I only heard it breathing. Dude, you know how to use your mic? I asked him or her. There was more breathing. Was this a joke? Dude, I began. There was a huge alien-like scream into the mic. I ripped off my headphones, and a video came up. It was pitch black. Silence, I shouted into the mic. It stopped, but I put back the headphones and heard breathing. I heard laughing, a creepy chuckle. Stop this. Now you, or I'll kick your. I shouted into the mic. Look at me, I rasped. I saw him move forward, and then my computer shut down. I don't do Skype anymore. What's that? A day in a Pokemon world full of horror. Oh, that's some crap, Now that is a lot of chapters. Okay, one more. Happy, happy. Happy, happy. Happy, happy. The picture's uploading. Happy, happy.
What's it like?
Happy, happy. It's so awesome. That's so awesome. Okay, so we got a few, let's read.
1,000 more.
The following are entries of blog that is constantly updated. The blog seems to talk about a show called Happy Happy. February 23rd, 2011. Wait, is there any in 2012? Nope. Thanksgiving. Inverty stupid. So I'll read a few. How long is this one? Okay, so this is the beginning. Okay. Hello, I will be writing this blog because I'm discovering about a show called APPY. You see, I've been fascinated with missing TV shows and movies and episodes. But even though I'm a diehard on finding London After Midnight, the 108 missing Doctor Who episodes, and Him, the 1974 film where a man has a really, like close relationship and obsession with Jesus. That's gotta be fun. I want to specifically seek out a TV show that's been missing for about 11 or 12 years now. It's called APPY, and it was a kids' television show that was shown on Noggin. Sometime during early 1999, after Noggin was launched, they aired a new show called APPY. It sounds like a nursery rhyme that a babysitter would sing, but it wasn't. It was a shorter show at 10 minutes, and it was normally played in duets, making each episode 20 minutes minus commercials. A couple months after it premiered, it was pulled off the air and never aired again. Even the much more appropriate episodes weren't shown. However, some parents did record the show, but they were VHS copies. Of those said VHS copies, only a few survived the years. However, what was rare was an intact DVD copy of any episode, especially the final ones. I was one of the lucky ones and had a DVD copy. Yesterday, when I did some spring cleaning, more like winter cleaning, I found an old DVD with a Sharpie written on it. It read HA episodes, so I did some research by using Google. On a forum that was dedicated to finding missing episodes and films, I found out those were the initials for APPY. In the replies, they claimed that there were no DVD copies around. So I went ahead and put them in the disk drive, praying for them to work. Well, they did, and they instantly cut to the intros of the episode. There's no menu or anything. By the way, I haven't really described the show, haven't I? Come on, carry on. There's a giant clay apple with arms, eyes, and giant lips being held up by a rusty bent stick going around a van. Going around in a van. Helping children. What they got hurt. Helping children. But as the show progressed, it just got creepier, like Death Smile creepier. Later in the series, they did change the stick to non-rusted but still bent stick. They describe more about the colors of APPY. His eyes were dark blue, and his lips were dark green. He even had a leaf on his head. His intro song had the same tune as Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Sounds like a picture.
It went something like this. Happy, 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 yep. Happy, yep. Happy, yep. Happy, 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 helps the kids all day. Happy, 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 he helps the kids all day, and so on. Anyways, let's go to the out-of-school episodes. Episode 1 and 2 are called Happy's Vacation and Hurt Happy, respectively. Okay, respectively. Happy's vacation was exactly what you would expect. Happy goes on a vacation to the beach, helps injured kids, even talks down a bully into not hurting a child. Hurt Happy was about Happy's stick getting broken. And the kids teamed up to help Happy by giving him bandages and fruit. Cannibal. And he's an apple. He's eating fruit. Nothing seemed out of place. He broke his stick. Okay.
I swear you cannot.
Yeah, you got. Okay. Nothing seemed out of place when I first saw it, but when I saw it a second time, it looked a little suspicious. When Happy was driving his van to the beach in Happy's vacation, some frames were skipped. At first, I just ignored it, saying that it could have been a scratched DVD, but when I checked the disc, it wasn't scratched at all. Also, during the scene where the kids gave Happy fruit, they gave him an apple fruit. It could have been an accident. He's cannibal. He's a friggin' cannibal.
Is that what this is about?
No, but he's. To top it off, I noticed some coincidental objects and heard Happy. In Happy's van, there was what looked like the border of the Hope poster, but it could have been something else. Also, in Happy's vacation, the radio plays a sound which looks like the country cover of Hot and Cold, which was made in 2008 and very out of place for a kid's show. I thought those were just coincidental. Well, I was wrong. Episode 3 and 4 were even stranger. The intros were cut out and the 2 episodes were missing a few scenes. On episode 3, about 5 minutes and 10 seconds in is when Happy does his first death smile. For 30 seconds, it was somewhat eerie. He's like, die. Like, that's probably what it looks like.
And look.
Fail.
Look. They don't make TVs that big.
He's watching SpongeBob.
They don't make TVs that big.
They do in SpongeBob Land. Okay, one moment that could send chills down your back, down anyone's back, was the Boo Boo scene in episode 4. Boo Boo. Happy aids a child that has a bruise on his knee. He looks at the camera, death smile on his face, and says, "What does Nate need for this Boo Boo?" For 30 seconds, he stared at the camera, motionless, with his dark blue eyes, soulless eyes, locking on to anyone watching. Finally, he broke the silence with, "That's right, a bandage." Wait, I've seen this many times. Needs a bandage for a bruise. Why he needed that long to speak, I will never know. Also, out of place objects were getting more noticeable. There was a news broadcast about a tsunami that recently struck Japan. Happy responded, "Oh no. If you want to help the Japanese, call this number," and a 1-800 number was listed. February 24th, 2011. I watched episode 5 and there were a few differences. First off, it had Happy on his rustless stick. Rustless. Also, this episode got a lot more violent. In this episode, Appy was doing his trademark death smile for half of this episode. Afterwards, he helped 2 children. The first kid Happy took out of sight behind the bush. Blood is seen from the bush and screams are heard. The other kid waits for Happy and he's emerging from the back of the bush. There skips frames, and the next thing I see is another blood trail leading to. The next thing I see is a blood trail leading to another bush, and Happy doing that smiley smile. Episode 6 showed Happy doing a death smile, but it was hardly viewable. Around a third of the way in, it went static for the rest of the show. I couldn't believe it. I moved on to episodes 7 and 8. This time the episodes were so violent and so badly made, they couldn't have been aired at Noggin at all. Episode 7 had Appy take a kid into his van. Pedo bear? No. Flash cutting could be... and so could blood splatters on the windows and horrified screams, which turned into girdles. Happy emerged doing a death smile from 9:21 to the end of the show, or 10.
Those are not cleaning sponges. No!
Like episode 7, episode 8 was gory and violent. But it was so coincidental and violent that I couldn't believe Noggin would even allow it unless it was an accidental airing. Ooh. It starts out with Happy walking to the playground when 2 kids ask him what the cycle of life is so that they can complete their homework. He proceeds to tell the kids about the cycle of life in frogs and plants. The kids said, "Thanks, Happy. Can you play with us for a bit?" Happy agrees, and they start playing on the playground. When this happens, smoke starts to creep behind Happy and the children. It gets to the point where they start coughing because how dense the smoke is. So they turn around and see what was making the smoke. Happy gasps in the sight in front of them. Twin Towers. Dude, that's messed up. Possible photo of 9/11. That's messed up.
That was on Mountain.
Apparently, 2 towers were on fire and burning up. A few people could be seen falling out of the windows to escape the fire. There was a lot of screaming, falling debris, and a crashed airplane in one of the towers. Only the tail of the plane was visible, sticking out like a sore thumb and nearing the point of collapse. I could hear a faint whining noise at this point, and I think that was one of the plane's engines was probably still on. 7 seconds later, the tail of the plane finally broke apart, with the largest piece of the tail hitting and killing someone. During the scene, the fire trucks could be heard outside trying to douse out the flames, but it only shows the flames down. The wailing of ambulances could also be heard, taking away the bodies of the people who jumped from the towers. We saw Happy and the kids again, but this time they stood still in fear. The smoke kept getting thicker and thicker, slowly obscuring the trees and equipment from the playground. You just turn the light off. The debris from the towers fell around the kids and Happy, and a person ran up to them and told them to run away from the towers before running off. When the older kid worriedly said, Happy, why are the towers on fire?" and it cut in a high floor that was near where the plane crashed, which revealed a kid that was crushed under a huge piece of concrete, crying for help. Some other kids tried to help him by lifting the piece of concrete off him. He was screaming so loud it was almost heartbreaking. There were bodies and blood everywhere. And the pain and fear trapped on the trapped kid's face was so realistic, I cringed. After the shot with the kid trapped under the concrete, you see the younger kid say, Happy, why are people running and falling from the towers? Happy turns to the camera, death smile on face, and very coldly said these words. Those 3 words will haunt me as long as I research this show. That's natural, children. He took the cute kids away from the towers, leaving the kids stuck under the concrete, screaming for help. When the credits rolled, the audio of the scene kept playing at the very end before it cut out. Something collapsed, making a very loud noise that would scare anyone watching. I jumped out of my seat. Was Happy a deathbringer in the form of an apple, or was he some kind of master predictor? If that episode somehow predicted 9/11, I had to have to watch episodes 9 and 10 to see if there was anything else predicted. I might not see any predictions, though, and to be honest, I hope not. Oh, and you want to know what happens when someone calls a tsunami an aid phone number? Tomorrow, I'm going to go and call it. February 25th, 2011. And this isn't that bad. It's just some happy crap. Happy crappy. Okay, Okay, let me lighten up a little bit. Let me lighten Adam up. First of all. Okay, now SpongeBob song.
You should make a school part, and everyone Woody. And Buzz was like, look, it's an alien! And he's like, where? You should use that with like someone like, look, Jeff the Killer, where?
Look, Jeff the Killer turns around, he's like right there.
You're like the best spoof ever. And then the guy's like, I got you, man.
And like Jeff keeps killing him, and the other guy's just like,
From when he's all like, look, it's there. He's all like, you're mocking me, aren't you? And the guy's dead, and Jeff spelled out in blood, you're mocking me, aren't you?
No, go to sleep. No, that'd probably like curse us forever. Hey, I called the phone number mentioned in episode 3. It was pre-recording. I will transcribe for you. Hello, I'm Happy, every kid's most helpful apple. If you want to make a donation, press 1. If you want to know about the earthquake, press 2. I pressed 2 and the hotline said this. An earthquake and tsunami hit Japan and we need your help. If you can make a donation of $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, $50, or $100, you'll be a big help. Anyone who donates gets Happy badge. So I went ahead and donated $1 to the donation for the fund and of it by using an outdated bank account that I never used. It responded, "Thank you for helping with the aid of the tsunami. Look in your mailbox in a week from now and you'll get your Happy badge." I'm currently wondering what earthquake Happy predicted. If it was powerful and made a tsunami, that'd be either 2003 Hokkaido or 2006 Kuril Islands earthquake. Even though it's closest to the actual release date, it can't be the Geico one because it didn't make a tsunami. Okay, here's the actual episodes 9 and 10. Episode 9 was pretty corrupt. I started up, but the whole thing had no audio, and the first part was so badly compressed that it was hardly viewable. The next part was just a plain static for the rest of the video. Great. 2 missing episodes, I thought. Episode 10 wasn't, however. I started with some weird offbeat carnival music and showed Happy Appy. As the show went on, he looked worse and worse, an injury worse. He was in his van driving against the road, which looped on and on. Eventually he reached the playground. Many children were at the playground. Appy looked as if he were ready to kill all of them. He said, "Hey kids, who wants to see a Happy do a magic trick?" The kids cheered and ran into his van. He closed the door and drove off. After a few minutes, he came back, smiling as if he just killed them all. The inside of the van was covered in blood as well. I couldn't take it anymore. For some reason, Happy was making me feel nauseous. But I marched on, and the remainder of the show before the credits was him reading the news. It looked absolutely normal, until the camera zoomed in on the newspaper, which was reporting on future events that didn't happen for a long time. Just a few examples were Libyan riots, the death of Michael Jackson, and the SS Columbia disaster. Meanwhile, there were random breaks which showed behind the scenes, looking at him murdering a child in his van. And the credits, Happy was holding a knife covered with blood. Camera shot down where there was a table. A hand with cut marks was visible. It cut out into a blank screen with white text. If you get these DVDs, I copied Happy over to them. I wanted to preserve this so they won't be lost forever. Now you might wonder, how did Nick allow all 10 episodes? Or 7? I don't know. They just did. That's what. If you want to know more, see me. Casey. You know Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Not me. Wait, who was Casey? Was that my friend? Kevin Stewart Custo? Kevin Stewart. Or Seward. Seward. Well, when I first met him, he did say that he worked with Nick until the end of the millennium. So he probably helped with APPY. I went to his house to talk to him about the show. When I entered, Kevin wasn't home. His wife was sitting in his bedroom crying. I asked what happened to Kevin. She replied with something that shocked me. I don't know what happened, but someone or something kidnapped him last night. I don't know where, but he left this folded piece of paper. Take it. I got a folded piece of paper. I unfolded it, and it was a picture of Happy Appy during the 9/11 season, with the exception that he looked badly scarred, like in episode 10. Before I left, I asked her how those horrifying pictures got on Noggin. She replied with, "He drugged the producers. He was going to." That was enough. I couldn't bear to take any more, so I left the house and drove off. When I got out, I started to walk back to my house. I heard a gunshot and screams of a woman, probably Kevin's wife. I instantly ran into my house because I know whoever killed Kevin was trying to kill me. Before I opened the door, I saw one last glimpse behind me. It was Kevin's mutilated arm in a bush and an unknown figure standing behind it. I can't stop reading these. There's so many. But I have to. This is getting really long. Thank you all for watching. My name is whatever you want to call me.
Stories of freaky retarded dudes.
Thank you for watching again. And goodbye.